Welcome back to Two Marks and a Spark. I'm fucking pissed off. Uncle Russ, how are you?
Oh, I'm fine.
Or
I'm not pissed off. I'm not happy about SmackDown.
Raw.
Not really either one. Well, but I want you to be able to get your feelings out. You need to vent a little bit, don't you?
Yeah, this show's kind of like therapy for me at this point. Look, I've said it 100 times. I said it on the show last night at about 12:30 at night. I basically only watch WWE at this point because we cover it on this show. I don't think that's any grand secret at this point. If we didn't cover it on this show, I would not be watching this crap. And God damn it.
I hear you.
Did it ever get harder to watch?
Well,
on Friday.
I read the spoilers, so I knew what I didn't, because I don't care about SmackDown. So I knew going in what the big reveal was.
Are you implying you don't read spoilers for Raw? Because I do.
Occasionally, yeah.
So let's just get right into SmackDown. Look, I got a lot to say about this fucking episode of SmackDown. But first, I want to talk about one segment from Raw because it is relevant to this. Cody Rhodes comes out after Stephanie McMahon, who's there for some reason, walks out and is like, I want the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes to come out here, whatever. Well, they do this fucking promo that goddamn made me want to turn off the TV show. Legitimately made me want to turn the show off. Because Stephanie starts saying, Cody, you're not going to beat Randy. This version of Randy is diabolical. Meanwhile, he's getting cheered by fucking everybody every week.
I know.
This is unbelievable, Russ.
I find it interesting that the company's been in trouble. And they decided, you remember on this night on Raw, they decided that Stephanie McMahon was going to boost the ratings and help. Don't forget the previous Friday on that week's SmackDown, which would now be 2 weeks ago for us. They ended that with, isn't that what Triple H ran in?
No, that was on Raw where Triple H ran in.
All
and
right.
It was on this episode of Raw where Triple H ran in. It was the same episode.
All right. Well, you know what happened is that I fell asleep toward the end of Raw, and I saw the highlights, I guess, on SmackDown, and my brain got confused. But you know what I'm talking about. So they bookend the show with Stephanie at the beginning of the show, Triple H at the end of the show. And
toward the end. It wasn't the end.
This is what they think is going to help.
Well, anyway, this god-awful fucking promo that felt like it was never going to end, when it finally does, Stephanie basically says to Cody, you're not your father. Cody then says, you're not yours either. And then for some reason, Stephanie takes offense to this, despite the fact that her father might be about to get fucking indicted on federal charges, and smacks the shit. Really? We're taking offense to that now, Stephanie?
Really? She should be glad. Say you're not like your father as a compliment.
Oh my God. I legitimately, look, Lance Storm, who works for the Observer now, came out and said that he turned the show off. Because he thought it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And I agree with Lance Storm. And I like Lance. But me and him disagree on a lot of stuff.
Sure.
I firmly agreed with him on his thoughts on Raw. Because, oh my God, I wish I could have turned this fucking show off. And I almost did. And for about 20 minutes, I did. Then I went back and watched the rest of it later.
Did you miss
now we can
important?
talk. Well, I watched the rest of the show. There's nothing on this show we're talking about. The Vision won the tag titles. Absolutely nobody cared.
Right. Correct.
Anyway,
they got some rapper or social media guy in on the angle. There's people that obviously you and I are not the demographic for these
Oh
celebrities.
yeah, I show speed. Yeah. Anyway, Wednesday, Randy Orton puts out a tweet that says, "I'll see you Friday in St. Louis, where we're going to find out who I've been talking to." Basically what he says.
Mm-hmm.
And the WWE social media proceeds to hype this up for the next 2 fucking days. And then Friday rolls around.
Yeah.
And Randy Orton comes out there. And he says, "St. Louis, what do you want to talk about?" He goes on to say that the next time he's in that arena, he will have his 15th world title around his waist.
This is his hometown, and they love it. They're eating it up. He's getting cheered like crazy.
Now, I suspect the next thing was to get them to boo Randy. It didn't work.
No, it didn't.
Well, here comes Cody. They start brawling. And then...
Who was it? Tell him.
Almost like we were teleported back to Elimination Chamber 2025. Pat McAfee with sunglasses,
yes,
and an RKO shirt,
right,
gets in the ring, and the former NFL punter punts Cody in the balls.
Yep.
The punter sacked the quarterback.
There you go. So what are you thinking about this time?
Well, my first thought that came to mind was, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought when I first read the spoiler that Pat McAfee was going to be there. I thought I didn't expect a lot, but I expected better than that.
Look, Pat McAfee is a fine commentator. I would argue he's a very good commentator. He is certainly better than Corey Graves.
Yeah, I can't disagree with you there.
But what has Randy Orton been saying for weeks? I'm going to show Cody Rhodes that there is indeed more than one royal family.
Mm-hmm.
So, mind you, this storyline that has about 20 years of history to it between Randy and Cody that did not need anybody else's involvement, really. Unless you really wanted to stretch it and maybe get like Batista involved. That would have been the only way any of this would have made any goddamn sense. And Batista won't do it.
Well, he's probably big in the movie.
Right.
Even if it was available, I don't think he'd want to.
But would you agree with me that the only person to get involved here that would have even halfway made sense might have been Batista, and that would have been it?
Yeah, because of the, not
the legacy to evolution thing and
evolution. Thank you. Right. There you go.
And then Cody and legacy with Randy. Look, that's the only way it makes any sense. But instead, Pat McAfee, who's only been with the company for 4.5 fucking years.
Right. It didn't make, it would have made more sense for it to have been Ted DiBiase Jr.
Who just got found not guilty on fucking embezzlement charges, by the way.
Correct. But at least he was in a tag team at one time with Randy Orton. It wasn't a great one, but it lasted a little while. They had a little run.
Him and Cody won the titles.
Yep.
Together.
Pat McAfee, though, cut a promo. He said a lot of things that I think many fans agree with about how terrible the product.
He says, "What happened to this place? This used to be a great show. This show sucks." Which the whole time I'm thinking, yeah, Pat, you're right. It does.
That's right. And so far, you've been a part of that, dude.
And then because this segment couldn't have possibly gotten any worse, he starts doing the what chant. And then I'm really mad.
Right.
And at this point, I'm pissed. And then it gets reported by Mike Johnson of PW Insider, pretty much as this segment is ending, that this reveal was not Triple H's idea.
Yeah, I understand that this is coming. He's supposed to be in charge of creative, but apparently he does not have the final say about these things.
About certain things. He did not have the final say about The Rock last year. That was Ari Emanuel. He did not have the final say about this. That was a TKO call from as high up as Ari Emanuel. That doesn't mean it was Ari specifically, but it probably was because...
There he is.
Let me tell you why. Do you know who
I'm worried
Pat
about
McAfee?
this guy. I'm worried about this guy. Yeah, I think he needs more money. I'm worried about him.
Do you know you're full of shit. Do you know who Pat McAfee hired as his agent last year to get him in like movie roles and shit like that? Do you know who it was?
I can't remember the name, but I did hear about this.
It was Ari Emanuel.
Okay. It was the same guy then.
Mm-hmm.
He's working with all these guys.
The CEO of Endeavor. And Endeavor owns TKO, who owns WWE.
Yeah. This was an inside job, as you say, right?
This had a little finger poke of doom to it, Russ, in the moment.
Finger poke of doom was a lot better than this.
Are you insane?
No.
Well, you are, but that's a different story.
A little bit. A little bit.
So, let me get this shit straight. Let me get this fucking shit straight. The guy who Ari Emanuel has gone on record in saying he would want nobody else booking WWE than Triple H will just occasionally go above Triple H. Go over his head. Do stuff behind his back. Without warning.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, Ari Emanuel has never run a wrestling company before.
Doesn't know anything about it, does he?
Does not know anything about the wrestling business.
Is he even a fan? Has he ever even been a fan of wrestling?
I fucking doubt it.
It doesn't look like it to me. And everybody else that worked on the show, probably was upset about this too, because I'm sure that the wrestlers backstage had no clue this was going to happen. And all of the matches they're working on, the storylines they're working on, are not even being talked about. They're being ignored. They don't matter. They're inconsequential because all of this horse shit going on.
So, to add on to this not so happy horse shit, because somehow this fucking bullshit gets worse. Middle of the show, Pat McAfee puts a video on the internet and he makes a promise to the IWC. If Randy Orton loses at WrestleMania, you'll never see or hear from him on wrestling television ever again. Which, if you didn't already know Randy Orton was winning at WrestleMania,
yeah,
Jesus Christ.
It sure looks like he has to.
Look. Do I blame Triple H for this specific segment? No. But do you know whose fault it's been every week prior that SmackDown has been a dribbling pile of the shits for the last goddamn 5-6 months?
Triple H?
Triple H.
Yeah.
Russ,
exactly.
Russ, this is the worst show on television.
I think you're right, man. I really do.
This is the worst show on television. And TKO, as if they couldn't get greedy enough with their goddamn ticket prices, and let's sell this to the most expensive streaming service on the planet with ESPN.
Right.
For no fucking reason. Let's go to Netflix for some stuff and ESPN for other stuff and USA for the rest. Oh, and let's not forget about the CW on NXT with NXT. What the fuck are they doing?
They're cutting their own
TKO.
throat.
TKO. I have an honest question for you. Do you know what you're doing? Ari, do you have any earthly idea what you're doing? Do you understand what you're doing? God damn it. I'm sick of seeing them, but The Rock would have made more sense in this spot.
Yes,
And I'm
it
fucking
would.
and I'm
It would
fucking
have.
I'm fucking sick of The Rock.
Me too. Have been for a
After
very long
last
time.
year. After last year, I'm sick of him. But goddamn it, he would have made more sense than this.
It would have. It's
So
baffling. me.
now we have to watch 3 weeks of build with Pat McAfee, Randy Orton, and Cody Rhodes. And I'm going to talk about Cody more in a minute because he cuts a promo at the end of the show where he just completely started shooting.
Yeah, he sure did. I think he's really upset. He acts like it. He basically called the boss out by name without saying his actual name.
He basically said this whole fucking thing is a bunch of horse shit, which he's right.
Right. Why are they doing this? I mean, prior to this, the unanswerable question on SmackDown is why the fuck are they wrestling for this lantern? You know, you know. But now it's like, what are they doing with this title match? Uh, I wonder. I mean, I think it's pretty obvious Orton's going to win, but
But
I don't know
Russ,
how I don't know how they can fix this.
do you understand what I'm saying? They fucked up the one match they had that actually looked like it was going to be untouchably the best match on the show and have the best build.
Yeah.
But this build sputtered out because of this Randy Orton phone call gimmick that wasn't even Creative's idea. It was Ari's idea.
Well, hey, what's the point of having a room full of writers if they're not writing the show? It makes them even less useful than normal.
Beats the fuck out of me. So let me get this straight. We're pricing people out of WrestleMania in what may be the last WrestleMania that ends up stateside for a while, if they actually go to Saudi next year.
Well, if there isn't a Saudi Arabia left, if the whole fucking thing isn't blown up and burned away, I'm talking about the Middle East here,
So let's just presume they do Saudi Mania next year. What are they going to do in 2028? What are they going to do? Vegas again? That's
no.
Honestly probably a best case scenario.
I don't ever remember. I don't pay as much attention to gates and stuff as some people, but when they follow the same venue 2 years in a row, they never do better the second time ever.
No. The only company that has somewhat been able to do that and get away with it is AEW at Wembley.
Yes.
They can kind of get away with it.
Wembley, though, the way those tickets work there, I don't think there's anything like it in the United States you can compare it to. It seems like it'd be a very different wrestling culture over there.
And part of the reason I think it works over there that doesn't work over here is one, tickets are cheaper because they have to be. Because cost of living over there is actually higher than it is over here right now.
That's right. And the median income is way, way lower than the United States. Way lower.
And that's not to knock the UK, by the way. The UK is a wonderful place, I'm sure. I got a lot of friends there.
I tell you what, for a bunch of limeys, they're pretty damn good.
They're certainly doing better than we are right now. I can promise you that.
I would agree 100%. They're not bombing any countries that I'm aware of. That's good. And they are arresting pedophiles.
So that's a good start.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason they're getting away with it over there, and it's AEW getting away with it. And AEW looks like a bunch of fucking geniuses right now, because for whatever problems you may have with AEW, they aren't doing this shit.
Right. Right.
And are there things I don't like on AEW television? Yes. But nothing to this fucking abhorrent level. And look,
Right.
I'm not even just saying SmackDown is the worst wrestling show on television. No. SmackDown is, without any sort of qualifier, the worst show on television, and they just made it worse. They just made it worse.
How are they going to turn this around?
They're not.
Are you sure?
Short answer. They're not.
Hey, they got little Yachty.
Who gives a fuck?
Well, little Yachty might bring some interest, sell some tickets. I'm being a smart ass here. Okay.
So on Monday, we talked about this last week, but on Monday last week they announced John Cena is the host of WrestleMania. On Friday, which by the way, they announced this on social media. They don't even actually. Did they mention that on Raw?
I remember seeing it mentioned on one of the shows, but might not have been Raw.
I know they mentioned it on one of them. I just can't remember if it was Raw or SmackDown.
I think it was SmackDown that they mentioned the Cena hosting, but not Raw. I could be wrong.
Oh God, this company's so fucking stupid. Mind you, ticket sales aren't moving.
No, they're not. And
they're still sitting around 30 to 40,000 for both nights, which is not a colossal failure, but it is down.
They're going to make all kinds. They're going to have a good gate. They always will have a good gate. But definitely, as far as it being like a thing that you could just like expect an almost mandatory sellout because it's WrestleMania. Personally, I don't think WrestleMania has ever been the same. I think it was damaged when it went to 2 nights, and I don't think they've ever recovered from that division. And I think going back to a one night show would make a better show, but I don't think they're going to do that.
I don't think they can. The cat's out of the bag.
It's just like when Nitro admitted that they couldn't do 3 hours anymore, and they had to cut back to 2 hours. It was like admitted that, hey, we're fucking up here.
Yeah, you just, once you do something, you can't go back in situations like this.
Unfortunately, I think it would make for a better show. I'd rather have, we only got 12 matches announced for WrestleMania, both nights. At one time, back at, 30 years ago, 12 matches was one night, one WrestleMania, and it was less than a 3-hour show. The pacing of everything has changed, I tell you what, I got to give credit to one thing that Cody Rhodes did right on SmackDown that nobody else did right and nobody else has done right in a very, very long time. He got to the ring in less than 30 seconds.
Twice.
Right.
He did it twice.
You had to be pissed off to be motivated. Well, CM Punk kind of did that too on Raw. But that's good. Make the entrances shorter. There you go. There's Mr. CM Punk.
Well, in some of these guys' defense, that 30-second time window is not possible because the ramp is so goddamn long now.
Yeah.
And some of these guys just don't walk that fast.
Mm-hmm. And, some of them, if they ran all the way to the ring, they might be winded after being there for a minute. I know I wouldn't be able to run to the ring. I would have to limp to the ring and take a couple of breaks.
All of this to say, fuck TKO, fuck you, McAfee, for agreeing to do this because you knew it was going to fuck shit up.
The only reason to watch SmackDown now is to see what's going to happen next, and it ain't going to be pretty.
And you're going to get pissed off, and you just have to understand that.
Yeah.
All right, Russ, let's talk about the rest of SmackDown now.
All right.
We had Michin versus Rhea Ripley. Again,
Rhea
Rhea
Ripley
Ripley
won.
won. Again.
Me Chin looked good. They're both very good wrestlers. We've been saying for a
Rhea's
long time, Mi Chin deserves a better spot than she has.
Rhea has to beat Jade at Mania, right? Like, she has to.
Sure.
And they do this after match angle, and we saw.
Sure. And I don't know what they're going to do with Jade
Io
Cargill.
back.
I mean, even you admitted, like, toward the last year or so she was with AEW, she was actually working with some good wrestlers that were trying to help her, and her matches were getting better. They were improving. I think that the last part of her time in AEW showed more promise than we've seen out of her since. She would have been better off staying in AEW, in my opinion, it looks like.
Do you know when she was at her best in WWE? When she was tagging with Bianca.
I agree. Yeah.
And then Bianca said, I'm fucking sick of it. And frankly, do you blame her? Because Bianca probably looked at this and said, the fuck are we doing? I can't fix this.
They reportedly had a lack of chemistry, outside of the ring also. They just didn't mesh.
But do you blame Bianca? Because she probably looked at it and said,
No.
What the fuck? She sucks. What do you want me to do?
No, because you're talking about someone who has dedicated their life to wrestling, as opposed to someone who was brought into wrestling from another field primarily because of cosmetic features.
So Bianca probably said, it is not my fucking job to fix your fucking problem here.
Yeah.
My job is to go out there and have good matches, not fix your bullshit.
Yeah, anyway, I think we're going to see Jade Cargill drop the title to Rhea for sure. It really wouldn't make it be, but I think the crowd would boo pretty loudly if they did it the other way. If they do some kind of bullshit with her new crew, cheating and she looks good. Just can't wrestle that great, but she looks fantastic.
Then we finally got Tama Tonga versus Uncle Howdy. I actually didn't think the match itself was terrible.
Right.
The gimmick's terrible.
Well, and he kind of asked what a lot of people have said, why the hell, what's the big deal with this lamp? It's almost like you said, this seems kind of like a stupid waste of time. What are we doing here?
And all the credit in the world to Tama Tonga, because he tried his damnedest to make this look good.
Mm-hmm.
And Uncle Howdy, Bo Dallas, whatever you want to call him, he's not a bad wrestler.
No. I just don't waddle about the gimmick.
I'm just not sold on that gimmick at all. We had Matt Cardona versus Aleister Black. I'm glad Matt Cardona's getting on television, because I really like Matt Cardona. And I think he's a cool motherfucker. But why are we beating this guy all the time?
That's what they kind of did with the Zack Ryder character.
Now, am I glad that they're getting Aleister some wins and maybe starting to build him up? Yes. And this is the thing about SmackDown. Well, it's the worst show on television. They do give you these moments every week where you think, it wouldn't take them too long to fix this if they just started booking this guy.
Pulling their head out of their rear end.
And noticing, wait a second, Aleister Black is like a main event level guy. Carmelo Hayes is a main event level guy. Trick Williams is a main event level guy, and it kind of seems like they figured that out.
Yes, I think it's headed that way, but man, what a bloody awful mess getting there.
And we had Bayley and Lyra against Charlotte and Alexa. Look, 3 of these women are really good, and then there's Charlotte. So, of course, this match was good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Charlotte and Alexa won for some reason, even though it should have been Bayley and Lyra.
Then we get the interference after the match, or the beat down with Nia Jax and Lash Legend.
Yeah.
Who are still the champions, but I look for that to change too. That's going to be a 4-way women's match, right?
I would assume so.
It looks like what we're going to get is the what are they called? The immovable objects or the
Something
irresistible
like that.
forces. The irresistible forces. Sorry about that.
We then go to the stupidest match on this entire television program. The Miz and Kit Wilson for the tag titles against R-Truth and Damian Priest. Danhausen puts a curse on the referee, and he can't count to 3. And thank God that ref couldn't count to 3, because the Miz and Kit Wilson as tag champions would have been fucking awful. Worse than Priest and Truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank God Priest and Truth won this match.
Yeah. It was just a little comedy bit.
And then we did the stupidest thing we could have done on this entire television show other than Pat McAfee. This is the last match of the show, and then there's a promo I want to talk about. Carmelo Hayes versus Sami Zayn. Why the fuck is this on this show? Because last week, remember, it was Carmelo Hayes who has gotten himself over way more in the last few months with that U.S. title open challenge thing than just about anybody. Nobody benefited more from those open challenges than Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes is a legit guy for them now that is over, that people like, that people get behind. Why the fuck not have Carmelo Hayes storm into Nick Aldis's office and say, God damn it, Nick, give me those 2 sons of bitches at WrestleMania, make it a triple threat, put me in the goddamn match.
That'd be great. I hope that happens. I hope it does.
Because remember, last week, or 2 weeks ago or whatever, the episode of SmackDown before this, it was Trick who screwed Mello.
Right.
So instead, they just make a rematch, and it's Zayn versus Mello, and this time there's no interference, there's no bullshit. Zayn pins him clean, 1, 2, 3, middle of the ring, match is over.
Yeah, there you go.
Why? Why? For what reason? So now, one of your guys who you've spent the last God knows how long getting over, and he spent how long getting himself over, way more over than I think you thought he was going to be on the main roster.
Right. Definitely.
But this guy's good. That's the thing. Carmelo Hayes is a very talented wrestler.
Good talker, too.
And he can talk.
Right.
And he's over. Push him. Fucking push him.
How many wrestlers are there just like that, though? That are over, can talk, can wrestle, and they just sit there at that spot in the card and they never get anywhere else.
I'm going to give you 5 of them right now. Aleister Black, who is legitimately over at this point. I know we wanted to say, oh, we'll see if it lasts. No, Aleister Black is over. Damian Priest, who they very briefly put the world title on a couple of years ago and then seemed to forget he existed.
Yes.
Carmelo Hayes.
Right.
Lyra. Poor Lyra. Oh my God, poor Lyra. She's so over and people love her and she just doesn't do anything. She loses all the time.
Stuck in that spot.
And to a certain extent now, Alexa Bliss.
Right. Yeah. So you feel like Charlotte's holding her back, right?
Oh, yeah. And I think they see Bayley and Lyra the same way, by the way. So, like, put those two together. I actually think Bayley and Lyra are a really good tag team. I actually think that's working.
Very good.
The Bayley-Lyra tag team. Remember, me and you criticized that at first, but I think that's working.
I think it's working.
I think that paid off.
Good chemistry. And
I think that paid off.
I think, yeah. What it would be nice if they won those belts, but I don't think it's going to happen.
After this, we had a Cody Rhodes promo that can best be described as a shoot.
Yeah, I understand there's quite a bit of fallout from this also.
He goes out there And he basically says everything I've been saying for the last half hour.
Yeah.
This makes no sense. This is stupid. What the hell are we doing?
He basically told the boss to kiss his ass.
He said, and I quote, and Pat McAfee, you and everyone who represent you can, and I know who I'm talking to, can kiss my ass.
Mm-hmm.
By the way,
interesting.
By the way, apparently somebody in the back, according to the Mike Johnson report, told him to go out there and shoot.
All right.
They said, because they saw how poorly it was being received, and went, Cody, go out there and just fucking shoot from the hip, brother. Which is the most Vince Russo idea I have ever heard.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
God damn it, bro. Go out there and shoot from the hip, bro.
Yeah.
Is Vince Russo booking this show?
I don't think so.
I'm serious.
I don't think it's available. I think he's working for somebody else right now.
Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Juggalos. Yes, the Juggalos.
Russ.
Which we might end up watching the Juggalos, if SmackDown gets much worse.
Russ, let's talk about Dynamite.
All right.
So maybe I can calm down a little bit.
Pay-per-view coming up. The first segment of Dynamite was interesting. We did have a little bit of a surprise. I had not heard about this, and I was surprised.
I did. I heard about it.
Yep, I had not been reading, so I missed.
I didn't hear about it. I was reading stuff about it, and then I got a text message about it. So, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I had heard a couple months ago that this was kind of where it was headed. That Jericho was probably gonna, one way or another, whether it was short term or long term. This sounds like a long term thing. This sounds like he's not leaving to me. Everything I've read and everything I've heard tells me he's there. He's staying there. The contract.
I read that he had just taken out a trademark for the term the cornerstone.
Right. And you don't take out a trademark for something you're only going to use for 6 months.
Right.
Which is about what he would have left on his deal from when he froze it last year. Or when they froze it last year. But it sounds like the reason they froze his contract, and I'm not reporting this is just something that has been floated around. The reason they froze his contract is because apparently when he resigns, he may be taking some sort of pay cut. But when he came back, they didn't want him taking the pay cut immediately. So it makes sense to freeze his contract at that point. That and the fact that he was going to be out longer than 3 months. So it twofold made sense that. And I do think, and remember there was rumors last year after he left that, maybe he got hurt. I do think there was some level of injury at play that kept him off TV this long. I don't think he just disappeared. I don't think he just fucked off. I think some of it was he was going to take time off anyway, and some of it was I think he got hurt. And I don't think he told anybody.
His band played a little bit, and I think they did a very brief UK tour.
Right. And tour. I think that was part of it. I think the Fozzy tour plus I legitimately believe he was hurt. Because if you watch his last few matches, he didn't look right. So I think he got hurt and just didn't want to say anything. And that happens all the time. He wouldn't be the first guy to have done that.
Right.
But if it came out that part of the reason he was gone so long is that he was hurt, I think you'd believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
If it came out that, he had this injury that nobody fucking knew about for God knows how long.
It would explain a lot. Yes, it would.
And Jericho comes out and they played his old music, his Judas by Fozzy.
Right.
And thank God they played this music, because if they didn't, I don't think anybody known who the hell it was. And he comes out, and they're in Winnipeg, so he gets a massive pop. I'm interested to see what kind of pop he gets everywhere else. And he teases the crowd, and he teases the crowd like he's going to say something. And then all he says is, Winnipeg, AEW, I'm home. And I thought this was brilliantly done.
He only said this after a very long tease, about 2 minutes maybe.
But I thought this was very well done. This was very old fashioned. This was very early WCW, late Crockett, whatever you want to say. You bring a guy out there who's just coming back, and you have him work the crowd and work the crowd and work the crowd, and then say very little and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was smart, and here's why. One, I think he's going to be a babyface.
Yeah.
And it's a very babyface thing to go out there and, like, you know, hype up the crowd and whatever. I think he's going to be a babyface. Which, okay, look. If he's staying with AEW, which all reports indicate that he told Tony Khan something to the effect of, I'm never leaving.
Okay. Good.
Unless you kick me out the door.
Right.
Kicking and screaming. Drag me out the door, kicking and screaming. Do you think, one, do you believe he's staying at this point?
Yeah, I think I do. Yeah. He's going to be around for, I think he'll finish up here.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, however long it lasts.
I think he's going to be with this company for a very long time, whether that's all on TV or mostly backstage. He's going to be with the company one way or another. He's going to be a guy. Do you want to know why I think the WWE stuff was coming out last year?
What was that?
I think it was leverage.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah, definitely.
I think he played them for leverage. He played them for leverage. He never had really any intention at all of going anywhere. And was just like, I'm going to get as much fucking money from Tony Khan as I can.
Yeah.
Understanding, oh, maybe my pay is going to go down, but maybe I can decrease the amount it's going to go down by.
I hear you.
Leverage my spot. WWE wanted to bring him back for a retirement tour, and that was it. Meltzer said that. Mike Johnson said that.
Yeah. Well, I think
and
he's
I guess
a little bit more in him than that.
But Jericho has said that when he retires, he doesn't want a retirement tour. So it would make sense that he would say no to that.
Correct.
He said he doesn't want a John Cena retirement tour. He said that last year.
Nobody would have won a last year like Cena had. I mean, other than the pay.
No, like he said it, I think even 2 years ago, that he doesn't want a long, drawn out goodbye. You know, he wants to wrestle his last match and
walk away.
And I think maybe he did put some consideration into retiring. I think that was a thought that crossed his mind probably. But at the end of the day, he decided to come back. And I do think that there's a very good chance he's going to wrestle at the pay-per-view.
Yeah, I was wondering, there's not that many spots. I mean, there was only about a half a dozen matches announced. So I figure Wednesday night, Saturday night, they'll work him in some way. I didn't realize he's 55. He's a little bit older than I thought he was.
Yeah, but he looks good right now. He looks better than he did.
He looked thinner and he looked more fit. He looked a little more tan and he got a mustache and a purple jacket. You know, he's mustachioid and a purple jacket wearing. Looked like he's ready to, go on Miami Vice or something like that, Looked really cool.
We had the Kenny Omega MJF contract signing. I thought this segment was very good. Why Kenny was sitting out there without a shirt on was odd, but whatever. As MJF is sitting there dressed to the nine.
As always.
And Russ, most of the rest of this show was just a bunch of really good wrestling matches. I'm going to be honest with you.
Sure. We don't even have to go in depth. You can just kind of name them off. We had a couple of trios matches. Brody King, Jack Perry, and Kenny Omega versus the Demand and Ricochet. Well, I guess and guess who won? Brody King, Jack Perry, Kenny Omega. Did you like the Will Ospreay match? I thought that was very well done. Could have been a little longer.
Yes, I agree. I completely agree.
Will Ospreay wins by countering the Brutalizer into a pin. Pac is underused, not used that often. He always looks great. I thought this might have been the best match of the show.
I agree.
Well, good. We agree.
Did you watch Collision on Thursday? Because they did do a promo for this. Willow Nightingale says she wants to defend her TBS title on that show.
Right. Yep. And she defeated a returning Hikaru Shida, who was
Hikaru Shida
quite a while. She was a women's champion once or twice. I think
twice, and she carried that belt through the pandemic.
That's right. Yes. And they teased maybe a possible heel turn with her. She acted like she was tempted to come up behind Willow with the cane and beat her, and then thought secondhand about it. Usually when they do something like that, maybe they're thinking about doing her as a heel.
Maybe.
Yep, maybe.
Darby Allin cut a promo basically saying that he's going to keep fighting until he gets a shot at MJF's title. Said MJF was scared.
Yes.
And then Darby went as far as to say that he hopes Kenny Omega beats MJF at Dynasty, which means it's not going to happen.
All right.
He calls out MJF. Here come the Don Callis family. A match is made for Dynasty. Andrade versus Darby, with the winner getting a future title shot.
Yes.
Then we had a world title eliminator, Mike Bailey versus MJF. MJF wins. This was a very good match, probably the best match on the show. And that was that. Look, man, Dynamite's really good.
Tommaso Ciampa was on Collision, defeating Juice Robinson. That was the other match that was quite good. Tommaso Ciampa hasn't had a bad match yet. So anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off there. We're heading into the big pay-per-view this Sunday night.
Yep.
Which is in, I forget where they're at. Right off.
Vancouver.
Yes.
It's in Vancouver.
Correct. So we don't have to.
The match is announced is FTR versus Copeland and Cage. Ospreay versus Moxley for the Continental title. Andrade versus Darby, which I just talked about. Tekla versus Jamie Hayter, which is going to be fucking incredible.
That's going to be good. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
And then what I presume is the main event is Kenny Omega versus MJF. Those are the announced matches. I presume we're going to get more than that. Yes, thank you, Damon, for that. The show that I'm normally on Sundays is now going to be on Tuesday next week because
we will be taking that slot.
Because we're taking that spot.
That's right.
We're taking your spot, brother.
Sunday night after that pay-per-view show, we're taking your spot, brother. We're going to come in there and kick your ass.
Actually, for the next 2 Sundays, we're taking your spot because the next Sunday is WrestleMania.
Oh man, it's on. It's on. You know, we're going to show these.
Fuck you both. Yeah. Fair enough.
We're going to show these baseball weenies what real sportsmanship is all about.
Hang on a second.
I'm kidding. I'm just being.
I'm on that show.
I know. I'm
You know, it's so weird for me bumping my own show out of the way to do another show. That's so weird.
This gives you a little bit extra to do.
Well,
I got at this point.
technically,
I'm looking forward to the AEW show more than I am WrestleMania. Got to be honest with you. And, and
well,
and I'm looking forward to seeing Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar.
yeah, that'll be nice. I'm not looking forward to WrestleMania at all, buddy.
Yeah. But even on the build-up, I would say that the Obafemi Brock Lesnar is the one angle that they haven't totally fucked up yet. They haven't done a lot, but they've done just enough to keep it interesting.
Well, they can't fuck that one up because that's just two big meaty men slapping meat.
Yeah.
Russ, I do want to talk a little bit about, and if I can find it. Let me find it because this is a news segment that happened last week, and I do want to talk about it. And this kind of got buried amongst everything else. And I meant to save it, and I don't. Where is it? So, here we go. I think. No, not that one. Come on, where is it? Okay, so this is the latest of the Janelle Grant lawsuit.
Okay.
She made a declaration filing in support to her opposition to the arbitration motion. She alleges the following, and I'm just going to go through this. And I want to warn anyone who is, like, in some way easily disturbed by this shit, like, just turn the show off. Just fucking turn the show off. Because I'm going to be honest, we have to talk about this. Leave a like before you go, but turn the show off.
There you go.
One, Brad Bloom and Nick Khan were aware of her relationship with Vince. Bloom figured it out while Khan was told by Vince.
Right.
I want to know why Nick Khan was told by Vince. That's something I want to know.
Yeah.
Two, Grant says early into her forced meet with Laurinaitis for sex, she attempted suicide. She told McMahon, who brushed her off and told her not to be late for a meeting with Laurinaitis.
Yeah. Yep.
She says she was forced into sex. What?
This is believable. It is to be.
It gets more believable and worse all at the same time. She says she was forced into sexual contact with multiple WWE talents by Vince.
I wonder if
says she was once beaten and had her hair torn out and suffered a violent sexual act by Vince in preparation for a meeting with Lesnar.
Okay.
She goes on to say it was inferred to her by McMahon and that WWE General Counsel Brad Nurse was fired for asking Bloom and McMahon about the relationship.
Okay.
Which, if that's true, that's just illegal.
Right.
That's just against the law. I mean, all of this is. Everything here is against the law, but
yeah,
that especially. Grant goes on to describe several alleged rapes and the injuries she suffered from McMahon and Laurinaitis, which often led to her blacking out. Says she blacked out for the first time McMahon forced himself on her. She described an alleged request by Lesnar for a video of her urinating. McMahon monitored almost all her communications, photos, videos. Vince told her he shared her private videos and thousands had likely seen her.
Nice. Really great guy, isn't he?
Jesus Christ. Grant said she suffered migraines, major health issues, massive depression, and stress due to the abuse, which included constant statements from Vince of how she was causing him trouble. She says she tried to quit several times. Thanks to BJ Bethel for kind of recapping that on Twitter.
Yeah.
That's what I was reading off there. I was not reading directly from the motion.
this is going to take a long time to work through the courts because it's already been over 2 years, hasn't it? Since
Yep.
the initial filings. Yeah, the wheels of justice go so damn slow. Yeah,
I cannot believe. I cannot believe this shit. I mean, I can. I believe every word of it, but I cannot believe that it has been 2 years of us getting posts like this
yeah,
one.
right.
And this just brings back to mind people like Ashley Massaro, who,
Sure.
by all accounts, suffered similar incidents.
Yeah, yep. Yes, she did. Uh, Something we got to talk about, and I'll be anxious to see what happens. But this kind of thing just seems to take forever.
And it shouldn't, frankly.
No, it shouldn't.
I mean, there's a lot of evidence here. This is pretty cut and dry from the look of it. I mean, this appears very cut and dry. I'm sure it's not.
Laurinaitis is no longer working with her team. I understand. There was a they correct.
Did he flip again?
He flipped again. Yeah, he did. Uh, that guy, he's a piece of work from everything we've heard about him.
I've never heard a good word about him
People
from anybody.
power. People power. Yeah, no, I haven't. Uh, I know that the Bella twins, their mother was married to him for a while, and when these allegations were made public, I know that she divorced him. I think that was a good move on her part. I feel bad for the woman. You know, don't tell me who the best Bella twins are. The mom is the best looking one. She looks better than the girls. Anyway, anything else in the news? Uh,
That's pretty much it.
I suspect that the stabbing incident at the indie deathmatch show may have been somewhat, at least a part. It seems like a work. I looked at the video of that, and some of the punches being thrown by the fans at the end looked just worked as hell. Really, really bad. There's something about the whole thing that just smells a little fishy to me.
I agree. It's
Yeah,
all fishy.
it's all fishy. These fly by night operations. They set up these mud shows, these independent mud shows out in the middle of nowhere, and they just make wrestling look bad.
Here's a little bit of news for you.
All right.
Some interview news. It appears Tony Khan will be on Jonathan Coachman and Vince Russo's show tomorrow. Oh, that's a must. That's
I
that's
I
must watch.
definitely yes.
Oh
That
my
should be.
god.
I had heard that he was going to interview Tony Khan. I didn't know it was coming up that soon.
Oh my god. Dude, it's going to be a disaster.
Jonathan Coachman. Now he hasn't normally worked with Rousseau, is he?
Yeah, they've been working together for about a year.
Well, how come every time I see Vince Rousseau online, he's with somebody else?
Because he has like 4 different shows he does.
Yeah, he must at least. I think that
It's
must
at
be
least 4.
the main thing he does for a living now is talk about wrestling and then talk about
And
how
Book Juggalo.
right. Yeah, I don't know that any of their shows are streaming yet that you don't have to pay for. So I'm not ready to resort to paying for the wrestling show yet. If I don't have to. Especially after last time you got billed twice for the same show due to
Yeah,
circumstances beyond your control.
correct.
That is not good.
So buddy,
Yes,
I ask you this before we depart.
yes, sir.
I don't even know why I'm bothering to ask, but what was your favorite show from last week?
Dynamite.
And your least favorite? I already know the answer.
SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is being fairly consistent. And okay, there you go. We got a
We're
message.
wrapping up. Shut the fuck up.
All right. Well, I'm done talking there. If my friend Ben wasn't so long-winded, we could have had this wrapped up. Yeah. Hey, I'm just fucking with you, man.
All right, that's the end of the show.
All right. It's been good.
Everybody enjoy the wrestling. Probably not SmackDown this week.
We'll be around.
Maybe don't watch.
Back Sunday night.
Yeah, we'll be back Sunday night, and then the Sunday night after that. A lot of shows coming up, buddy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Buckle up.
Will do.
All right, Damon. Play our fucking music. Let's get out of here.